нас покровом своїм омофором. Подай нам руку, не дай нам муку, Матко милосердная. Подай нам руку, не дай нам муку, Матко милосердна. Подай нам обі, прийми нас к собі, Матко милосердная. Подай нам руку, не дай нам муку, Матко милосердная. Подай нам руку, не дай нам муку, Матко милосердна. Милосердія двері отвори, все піта преблагая. Подай нам руку, не дай нам муку, Матко милосердная. Подай нам руку, не дай нам муку, Матко милосердна. Левадом долином несеться звено, щебетом пташиним зливаєсь воно. Той Діви Марії днесь праздник святий, то спрошує церква побожних дітей. То Діви Марії днесь праздник святий, то спрошує церква побожних дітей. Левадом долином дітвора гуде, цвіточки збирає, в китиці кладе. Для Діви Марії звенися вінок, славися Маріє посеред діток. Прийми цей віночок, о мати блага, рукою своєю храни нас від зла. Провадь нас ласкаво дорогом життя, до неба, де радість, а смутку нема. Провадь нас ласкаво дорогом життя, до неба, де радість, а смутку нема. Було колись на країні ревіли гармати. Було колись запорожці вміли панувати. Було колись запорожці вміли панувати. Панували, добували і славу, і волю. Минулося, осталися могили на полі. Високі ті могили чорніють, як гори, та про волю нишком в полі з вітрами говорять. Та про волю нишком в полі з вітрами говорять. Високі ті могили, де лягло спочити козацьке біле тіло в китайку повите. Свідок слави дідівщини з вітром розмовляє, а внук косу несе в росу, за ними співає. А внук косу несе в росу, за ними співає. Ніби матері долоні лагідна вода, поміж вербами блукає лада золота. Зашумить Дніпро, про красу і добро, про кохану Україну. Зашумить Дніпро, зашуми Дніпро, і нехай заб'ється серце тепле чаєння, скільки й сліз несла до моря чиста течія. Зашуми Дніпро, розкажи мені, як здіймав ти гори хвилі у грозові дні. Друга і брата, а для ката грім, є невисохлі джерела, вирувати їм. Зашуми Дніпро, про красу і добро, про народ наш незборимий. Зашуми Дніпро, зашуми Дніпро, про красу і добро, про народ наш незборимий. Зашуми Дніпро, зашуми Дніпро.
Tak, tylko żeby on tutaj po prostu widział, to żeby tam będzie tam będzie Wandowski do tych kabli, a tu będzie po prostu widział, bo to będzie klika dalej. Aha, jednak. No ale to jest świru.
Pani Natalio, bardzo dziękujemy za tą piękną muzykę. Proszę nam powiedzieć trochę o instrumencie i o utworach, które usłyszeliśmy.
Tak, to jest instrument, który się nazywa bandura. Ukraiński, tradycyjny instrument, jeszcze wywodzący się z czasów kozackich, także bardzo stary. Oczywiście to jest taka współczesna wersja. Ale tak, pieśni no to na początku wykonałam kant, taki, czy można powiedzieć psalm do Bogu Rodzicy, również z epoki renesansu pochodzący, czyli taki starodawny, w obróbce również słynnego ukraińskiego bandurzysty Tarasa Kompaniczenka. Tak, później zagrałam również pieśń religijną, również do Bogu Rodzicy. Następna była pieśń na słowa Tarasa Szewczenki, słynnego poety ukraińskiego. Również właśnie o czasach kozackich, o zrujnowaniu siczy. I ostatnia pieśń to była Zaszumy Dnipro. Pieśń, można powiedzieć, taka wyrażająca taką tęsknotę również za Ukrainą, która właśnie znajduje się teraz w trudnych czasach. Ja studiuję, tak, na 3. roku. Na trzecim roku, tak. Na razie nie jeszcze. Tak.
Bardzo dziękuję, serdecznie dziękujemy.
Tak, wiem, właśnie widzę, jestem fan trochę, dziwię się.
Dziękujemy bardzo Pani za występ muzyczny, a my już będziemy rozpoczynać kolejną część naszego kongresu, Forum Młodych, Wiara dla mnie i dla Ciebie, a tematem tego panelu będzie wolność religijna na świecie. Są z nami nasi goście. Welcome to our guests. Jest z nami ksiądz Stephen Ugwu z katolickiej archidiecezji Onitsha z Nigerii. Święcenia kapłańskie przyjął w 2008 roku. Od święceń pracował jako wikariusz w parafii katedralnej, jako zastępca kierownika i dziekan do spraw uczniów Liceum Chrystusa Króla w Onitszy, a obecnie przygotowuje u nas rozprawę doktorską. Jest z nami również na Teamsie ojciec Aleksej Miczyński, Marianin, duszpasterz w Tainszy w Kazachstanie, a także jest potomkiem polskich zesłańców, co jest bardzo ważne. I w nawiązaniu właśnie do tego, ojcze Aleksy, jak kształtowała się sytuacja wierzących zesłańców z Kazachstanu? Mam nadzieję, że ojciec Aleksy zaraz nas usłyszy. Jeśli nie, to przejdziemy może do kolejnego pytania i zaczniemy od księdza Steve'a. What is the situation of Christians in Nigeria?
Good evening, beloved professors, priests, and guests. I see this as a noble opportunity to talk about my country, Nigeria, especially with regards to Christianity and freedom of worship. So I structured my presentation into order. The analysis or the talk aspect of it, and then the live events and live videos of the situation of things in the recent past. I understand most times that what we view in the media in this part of the world may not represent fully and totally what is happening in the other side of the world. And that is why I consider this as a noble opportunity for the audience here to see us and our world, as well as pass on our situation to the people who may deem it fit and may be interested to know about Christianity in Nigeria. As you can see on the map, Nigeria is a great country, first of all, rich in human and mineral resources, and happens to be one of the countries in West Africa, and they say it is the giant of Africa and the most populous nation or black nation of the world, and the population highest in Africa, with about 220 million Nigerians. And I consider this as a multinational country for this singular reason, that Nigeria was annexed in 1865 by the British Empire from what we used to be existing in regions and kingdoms and empires. We have the Nri Kingdom in the eastern region, Benin Empire, Oyo Empire, Hausa Empire, and Borno Empire until 1865, when these empires were annexed by the British Empire and amalgamated people who have different languages, different tribes, different social, cultural, different religious beliefs and tradition into one nation and one country called Nigeria. Politically, we are divided into three or into two, the southern region and the northern region. And the southern region is subdivided also into two. We have the west and the east, and that makes Nigeria to be divided into three regions: the southern region, the western region, the eastern region, and the northern region. But these regions have 300 tribes and languages. But we have three major tribes, which is Hausa, Igbo, and the Yoruba. The Hausa covers the northern region, the Igbo covers the eastern region, and the Yoruba covers the western region, speaking three different languages. However, despite the differences in thoughts and languages and culture, in the southern region and even in the northern region, there is mutual coexistence and mutual understanding in their cultural beliefs and in their religion. They lived well with each other. The journey of Christianity started in the 15th, 16th century. First of all, with the arrival of the Capuchins and the Augustinian order from Portugal, who arrived in the 15th, 16th century, together with some Portuguese merchants. They met a nation that has religious sentiments. Religious sentiments, a typical instance is what I describe as what Paul encountered during his missionary job, or the missionary work in Athens, as recorded in Acts of the Apostles chapter 17. When St. Paul was moving, he met the Athenians making sacrifices and worshiping to different gods, the god of this and the god of that. They have also a shrine and an altar dedicated to the god unknown. And St. Paul from there began. And similar situation is what we have in Nigeria, as represented by Chinua Achebe in his famous book called The Things Fall Apart. According to Chinua Achebe, in the ancient time before the coming of the Christendom, we believe in the supreme God. We also believe in the God of fertility, in the God of sun, in the God of thunder, in the God of various things. I had a living testimony of during my apostolic work in one of the rural parishes where I worked. Is a farm area. There was no rain. It was so dry. And the people gathered, they came to my parish priest and said, "Father, we need to make sacrifices to God to bring down rain." And the juju, as we call them, the members of the traditional religion, they have also gathered and met and scheduled a date to offer sacrifice that rain will come so that the land will be ready for cultivation. But the people of God, the Christians, came and consulted with Father, and then Father said that nobody should attend that event. The traditional religions, they gathered, made the sacrifices, and so on and so forth. Rain did not fall until Father now convoked the people, and we had sessions, we had novena. Father is a Marian devotee. We had devotions to Madonna, devotions to Mother of Perpetual Help. And on the completion of the novena on the 9th day, it rained heavily. And it falls back again to what Chinua Achebe said, that we believe in the God of fertility. When a woman, after marriage, 1 or 2 years fails to have a child or two, then a sacrifice is made to the God of fertility. And after the sacrifice, according to legend, the family will start having children. And so it was very easy when the missionaries came to win souls. Unfortunately, the first missionaries that came in the 16th, 17th century did not go far because they mingled mission work with commerce. They first of all landed in Benin, in the southern region of Nigeria, first started school for the sons of the kings and the rulers. It continued just for the sons for the sons of the rulers, whereas the merchants were busy with other things, and the kings with their rulers were not interested in the missionary message. And so their mission work did not bear more fruits. Besides not being interested, the kings and rulers were more focused on the wares, the gun, the mirrors that the missionaries came with, and together with the merchants. And this paved way for the slave trade that started in the southern region in the 15th, 16th century, prior to the annexing of slaves by the Fulani slave raiders in the 11th century. But 2 decades, together with the other weather factors and the tropical diseases that beset the Augustinians and the Capuchins that made their mission work to end abruptly, they left in that 16th century, and there was kind of a break for like 2 centuries until the 17th or 18th century, when the English-speaking missionaries from the Anglican Communion came. They started together again. They started again with the missionary work, education, and then they combined everything with commerce. The good aspect of their mission work is that they helped and they facilitated the end or the abolition of slave trade in the 1890s, although it came to complete abolition in 1903, when the slave trade was totally annihilated. However, while their mission work was going on in the southern region, except just a few places in the eastern region, the Catholic missionaries came back. This time around, the St. Patrick's Society, the Irish missionaries, the St. Patrick's Society, the Irish missionaries, and the Holy Rosary Sisters, they came, stopped at Lagos, then from Lagos down to Onitsha, the eastern region. That was the gateway of evangelization and mission work in the eastern region. And with the work and dedication to the mission work, they won souls. And there was also remarkable collaboration between the animists, we call them, the people that believe in the supernatural existence in everything. Just as Chinua Achebe represented in that work, Things Fall Apart, we believe in the God of Yam, we believe in the ancestors, and that is why the typical Igbo man, when making the blessings, will pour libation for the good ancestors, for the bad ancestors. This remain outside, for the good ancestors remain with us, which some people are translating today as the communion of saints. You see, why it was very easy for the missionaries to win souls. Another testimony given for the Catholic missionaries was that when they came, unlike the people from Anglican Communion, the Catholic missionaries had no wives. And so the people understood them as people who really meant business. And so they built schools, they built hospitals, they were there. Typical instance of how a better understanding of the existential realities of our worldview was the missionary assistance of Mary Slessor, who aided in stopping or abolition of the killing of twins. Before the missionaries, when a woman gives birth to twin, the child, some were killed, some were marched on until they are dead. And if you are born albino, you know albino, if you are born albino, you are also taken to the evil forest. Incidentally, when the missionaries from the Catholic fold came, they were given the evil forest. And people say that those evil forests, the spirit of the evil forest, or those people thrown there, facilitated the spread of the mission work. However, these activities continued until the recent time when situation started changing. Like I said before, that before the arrival of the missionaries, there had been mutual coexistence and freedom of religious experience and association between the kingdoms and empires. And that is why when Nigeria drafted her constitution in 1999, it was enshrined in the constitution written in section 39, subsection 1, of freedom of religion, an association. However, this understanding meant something different in our present time, a difference that could be linked to the event of 1804 to 1806 when the Fulani jihadists, headed by the Usman Dan Fodio, invaded the Hausa kingdom, and overturned the animism in the Hausa kingdom and their form of Islamic religion, annexing the whole of northern kingdom for Fulani Muslims as well as for Islamic State. The conquest was moving down to the rest of the country until it was altered by the chief people of Benue State. Benue State, it may interest us to know, are predominantly Christians. 99% of Benueans are Christians. 85% are Catholics. So they altered this movement. And this crime remained in the heart of the Fulanis until recent time when they assumed the political power, and the Benueans started paying for the crime of stopping their annexation of the whole country with the ethnic cleansing that is presently going on in Benue State. The Fulani, realizing this Islamic state and distortion of the Fulani, realizing this Islamic state and distortion of religious freedom became a reality in 2020 when the terrorist group named Boko Haram was instituted in Zamfara, a northern state in Nigeria. Boko Haram simply means Western education is forbidden. It may interest you, or you will recall that in the course of the presentation, I mentioned that education was the key of evangelization for the missionaries. And so the Boko Haram saw education also, destruction of education, as a key and a means of Islamic annexation of the whole country. And so they started bombing churches, ecclesiastical institutions, hospitals, government property and institutions. It was apart from the destruction of property, the minority Christians in the northern region were not left alone. Violation of human rights in form of rape, abduction, and forceful conversion of young girls into Muslim through marriage became predominant. In 2013, it was recorded that many Christian girls in the northern Nigeria were taken or were forced into marriage by the members of the Boko Haram and invariably got converted to Islam. This violation became a similar experience for minority Christians in the north, and the painful aspect is that the government is complacent to this plight. It was up until 2014 when more than 60 people were killed and about 300 students of girls' secondary school Chibok, Borno State, were kidnapped, most of which are Christian girls, that the events of Boko Haram came to limelight. It came to its climax in 2015 when the Fulani Muslim fundamentalist was elected as the president in the person of Muhammadu Buhari. And then the onslaught against Christians, not only in the north, but also the rest of the country, was kicked to its fullest, such that becoming a Christian in Nigeria is synonymous to martyrdom. The situation seemed hopeless because the government policies and the government-led initiatives do not work. Politicians align with the political correctness for fear of elimination. Even Christians, especially Catholics, politicians are discriminated against, marginalized, and illegally or illegally denied access to political authorities and government benefits. There is presently a move to remove Nigeria from in the constitution, the concept of secular that is written in the Nigerian constitution, and so as to engrave or to describe Nigeria as a a nation in the combination of religion, state, and law. Particular emphasis is on the Sharia law, so that Sharia law becomes the rule of law for everyone, wherever you are. Although it is still a plan. In schools, in the public schools in the northern Nigeria, Christian students are forced to take classes in Arabic and the Islamic lessons, whereas the Muslim counterparts do not take Christian religious courses. Also, Christians are denied access to land to build churches or other facilities. Some are denied admission into public institutions and employment opportunities. Killings of Christians, especially in the north, have continued up till this very moment. There are instances of this situation. I will just mention briefly, and then I play some videos of what happened in the past and what happened or what is happening presently. In 2016, go back. Back? Fine. In 2016, on Christmas Day, a suicide bomber attacked St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Madala in Niger State. 39 people died in that attack. 2016 also, one woman was murdered in cold blood because she preached Christianity in the capital city. She was just on the street preaching, repent, Jesus is God, repent. And some mobs invaded her, killed her in cold blood. Likewise, the wife of a Deeper Life pastor was also killed and burned by some people. In March 21, one other woman was also killed because they said she made a post about Prophet Muhammad. Sorry. Last year, one student in a higher institution named Deborah Yakubu was also killed by her classmates because she posted something, or she wrote something. What she said in their group WhatsApp forum, they were preparing for exam. She said, "May God help us to pass this exam." And her classmates deemed what she wrote as blasphemy against Prophet Muhammad. And so she was brought out of the class, lynched to death, and burnt by her own classmates. This situation has become a normal occurrence in the northern part of Nigeria. It has also escalated to the southern part. Last year, on the 6th of June, in St. Francis Parish, Owo, in the southern part of Nigeria, on the Pentecost Sunday, the parishioners gathered to celebrate the month of Pentecost. Some terrorists invaded them, sporadically shooting everywhere, throwing grenades and bombs. 59 or more than 59 people were killed in that same attack. In 2021, it was recorded that 4,650 Christians were killed. And in 2022, it was 896. This happenings or this violation is not only in the northern or in the southern part, it has also come down to us. Given the political instability, a group that is advocating for self-determination and the declaration of a independent state of Biafra began a movement. The movement that is built against restoration of traditional religion. And by this restoration, it is a direct attack on Christianity. And so most times or sometimes, they make laws that nobody will go to church on Sunday, and they enforce it, going about shooting and killing people, such that some parishes, not just in the north, but also in the south and in the eastern region where I come from, in some parishes presently, there is no more masses or sacraments. The churches are closed. Priests are in hideout. I know 2 of my classmates who have run away from their parish because we are spotted and targeted as flouting the order of what they call lockdown of churches and lockdown of the system. One will immediately ask, but what are you people doing? Yes. These practices and attacks on Christians have been globally condemned by various world leaders, but we know that no serious, consistent strategy have been devised to challenge these recurring problems of religious freedom in Nigeria. Instead, they call it domestic politics. However, the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria have written a lot of communiques, made public pronouncements and condemnation of these attacks and violations. Priests on their pulpits have also made the same. Priests, bishops, religious men and women and lay people have made a lot of protests condemning the killings and the attack, and yet nothing. Even some prominent clergymen, the likes of Francis Cardinal Arenze, Cardinal Anthony Okojie, Cardinal John Onaikon, Archbishop Kaigame, the CBCN president, Archbishop Valerian Okeke, Bishop Godfrey Yona, the former professor of Urban University, Bishop Hassan Kuka, who lives with them. They have made some pronouncements. They have come out publicly to condemn this, and yet nothing has happened. Even some committees have been set. For instance, there is in the Kano Diocese a center for comparative religion where people are gathered and thought about the different religious beliefs and understanding. In 1999, during Obasanjo's regime as the president, he constituted a committee that he called Nigeria Inter-Religious Council. And this is a council that comprises of people from different sects, people from different religious sentiments and beliefs, Christians, Muslims, animists, and the rest of them. And yet, nothing seemed to come out of this. The Christian Association of Nigeria also have made their own effort, although it is a body that is greatly divided, because Nigeria, being a Christian country, because the population of Nigeria, as I said before, is 220. And in this population, Christians have 49.3% of the population, and Catholics are 25% of this 49.3. But yet, because the politics since, or the political power since independence have been in the hands of the Northerners and the Fulanis, it has been difficult to determine exactly the population and to decentralize rather power. And that is why it has been difficult and almost impossible to quell this situation, because the Fulani Muslims are in charge of all the armed forces, the police, the military, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, name them. They are the commander-in-chief, also the president. However, the people are not resting and reluctant. They are not giving up. Despite these situations, despite the displacement, especially in Kaduna Diocese, Kafanshan, people still, once in a while, express their faith. People still express their faith, and I crave your indulgence to play some of these videos. These are excerpts from the happenings in Nigeria.
Here at the Family Worship Center, pastored by Regent University graduate Sarah Omaku, Thousands lift their hands in praise.
This is just a Pentecostal gathering, a Pentecostal church.
But just a few miles away on this Sunday, these people tried to find enough food to survive another
People
day.
who have been displaced from their home, from their states and their homes, because people in the southern Kaduna is a Christian-dominated area in the Kaduna state, and Kaduna is one of the municipal cities of Nigeria. But since the governor is a Fulani and a Muslim, they have consistently attacked that community weeks after weeks, weeks after weeks. Some students that passed through here are from there. Luke Ango, Philemon Ayibo, and Abraham. They are from the southern Kaduna.
Okay.
Yes.
Nigeria maybe now is the most dangerous country for Christians in the world.
Nigeria, known as the giant of Africa, is the continent's biggest economy and largest democracy, with a population projected to become the world's third largest by 2050. It's also the world's largest mixed Muslim-Christian nation.
In Nigeria, we have, as a population, 210 million people. And I want to be precise, almost the 50% are Christians. And so Christians are Nigeria. Christians aren't a guest.
A vibrant Nigeria could serve as a growth engine for the whole continent. A failed one would be a source of instability and violence. Nigeria has been in the news lately because of the recent elections. The country is at an inflection point, with over 60% of the population living in poverty, while security crises, including kidnapping and terrorism, have multiplied. Bola Tinubu, a political kingmaker, was declared the winner of the presidential election after a tight race marred by accusations of vote rigging and the lowest turnout ever recorded. One of the issues that weighed heavily during the elections was Boko Haram, a terrorist group responsible for the deaths of more than...
These are the Chibok girls that were kidnapped in 2014 till date. Very many of them have not returned. Report has it that some have been married to the members of the Boko Haram and have given birth. In 2019, a group of girls, about 190, were also kidnapped, and one of them, who stood firm defending her faith, Leah Shaibu, did not come back when others were released because she said she would not deny Christianity, and so she was kept and given away in marriage forcefully to the commander of the Boko Haram, and the commander, after some years, sent message of himself and Leah with 2 kids.
This?
Okay, let's play the first, the second one, then come back to this.
This?
No, not this. Forward.
This?
Next.
Okay.
Okay.
This, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
On the Pentecost Sunday of last year,
actually realized that the happening was in my parish, because I saw people running helter-skelter in the town and saying, they are coming. So I was trying to look for the shortest cut to get back to the parish. It was in that instance that I saw 2 of my altar servers who stopped me and said, Father, 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 stop, stop. Don't go to the parish. They are killing people in the parish. And I said, which people? They said they don't know.
Next video.
We heard a gunshot.
Okay, one before this, yes? This? Yes, because I have only this. And this? This?
Yes.
Okay.
Those who were killed on the Pentecost Sunday till date, no one has been arrested, nothing has been said about what happened on 6th of June. No arrest, no one held responsible or accountable for the massacre and the killing.
We are going to try to connect with Father Aleksy. Czy ojciec Aleksy nas słyszy? Dobrze. Ojciec Aleksy może już włączyć mikrofon i odpowiedzieć nam na pytanie, jaka jest sytuacja religijna w Kazachstanie i jak się to ma właśnie do tej księdza historii związanej z zesłańcami z Kazachstanu.
Tak, słyszę. Dzień dobry.
Powtórzyć pytanie, tak? Czy nie było słychać? Jaka jest sytuacja religijna w Kazachstanie i jaka jest sytuacja zesłańców z Kazachstanu?
Dla mnie historia w ogóle wolności to jest tak naprawdę wolny naród, w którym jest wolny duch. Ja nic nie słyszę, przepraszam.
Poczekamy jeszcze chwilkę na odpowiedź ojca Aleksego, bo mamy lekkie opóźnienie w transmisji. Jeśli nie, to przejdziemy po prostu do pytań.
Jeżeli mówić też o wolności w Kazachstanie, o wolności też religijnej, to bardziej bym się skupił na tej wolności, która była kiedyś, a dokładnie kiedy nie było, kiedy było masowo zsyłanie ludzi do Kazachstanu podczas Związku Radzieckiego.
Myślę, że ze względu na nasze lekkie problemy techniczne przejdziemy po prostu do pytań. Być może jeszcze będzie kiedyś okazja, żeby zapytać o to księdza Aleksego, a my też ze względu na to, że jesteśmy troszeczkę opóźnieni czasowo, więc poprosimy teraz o zadawanie pytań księdzu Stevenowi.
So, Father Steve, what's the most important problem in Nigeria after this persecutions of Christians? Is there any other problem? What is the most difficult for your country, for your Christians in the Nigeria after these persecutions? The second one problem.
The most pressing problem presently is the political crisis, which is also affecting the people's well-being and welfare with regards to livelihood. Very many find it very difficult to sustain a 3 square meal. Besides that, it may interest you to know the priests are also not left out. Very many priests. Yes, we live on the generosity of the people, and the people are very good at that. Very many of us pay little or nothing with regards to tuition all through seminary days, and at ordination, you are given everything to begin life. The car, what you need in your house will be provided for you by the people. And sometimes at priest, after ordination and while working, now face the challenge of taking care of the people because of our relationship or the way we relate with our people, such that most times the parishioners bring to their pastor or to the vicars their domestic problems, their bills, hospital bills, tuition fees, accommodation bills, and the rest of them. And the situation now has worsened this problem such that very many feed from the rectory, from the parish house, because our people still in their generosity will still not, or find it as a taboo not to make offering. For instance, at the completion of school, if I finally complete my studies and my education here and go back home, my parents will offer Mass of Thanksgiving and go to church, make offering with something substantial, sometimes something living like ram or cow and the rest of them. And after seeing all this yam and whatever, the people who are hungry come back to the priest. And so the situation now that are so deteriorated has made it that almost virtually very many feed from the rectory. So it's one of the greatest challenge. Besides this challenge, in the southern region, apart from the Boko Haram menace, in the southern region, it is this crisis of self-determination of independent people of Biafra. They are threats to everyone, priests, bishops, lay people, even governors of their states. So it is one of the greatest challenge to living a Christian life or religious life in the country. The political crisis. We are still going through the crisis of February election. Nothing has been resolved, although someone is sitting there as the president. But if you listened a while ago about the testimony given by the Italian man, he said the election was marred with grave corruption. And it is true that everybody saw it. Unfortunately, the people we look up to that will help us, the international community as people look up to, are silent and kind of in marriage with the whole situation. And the poor man has no hope than to say, in our culture, in our tradition, God day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Father. We have a next question. Tym razem do księdza Miczyńskiego.
Łukasz Bucior, jakie są największe trudności ewangelizacyjne w Kazachstanie?
I oczekujemy na odpowiedź od księdza Aleksieja. Prosimy o włączenie kamery i mikrofonu. Co prawda nie Chiny, ale okazuje się czasem, że trudniej niż jak jest bliżej. Oczekujemy wciąż na odpowiedź księdza Aleksieja. W takim razie poszukamy też jeszcze kolejnego pytania. W międzyczasie ksiądz Aleksiej na pewno się włączy i nam odpowie w dowolnym momencie, jeśli nas usłyszy. A też jeszcze poprosimy o kolejne pytanie, może do księdza Stevena.
Tutaj z przodu chyba jest pytanie.
Już.
Father, I would like to ask, how is with vocations in your country, in your dioceses? Do you have many seminaries, or are there young people who want to serve God as priests? Thank you.
Yes, we still have vocations. Fortunately and incidentally, I worked in the seminary as the financial administrator for 3 years, being in internal and external forum. And while I was working, for the 3 years I worked for theologians. Blessed Iwenantansi Major Seminary located in Onitsha is for theologians. And each year we have seminarians from Onitsha province. Onitsha province covers Onitsha Archdiocese, Nnewi Diocese, Oka Diocese, Enugu Diocese, Ogwu Diocese, Abakaliki and Nsukka.
Tak naprawdę brak personalny. Chyba duszpasterzy, którzy by mogli głosić dobrą nowinę tam, gdzie tylko mogą. To jest tak naprawdę największa trudność, która by na chwilę obecną dawały się w oznaki. Potem warunki klimatyczne i następnie warunki ekonomiczne.
W międzyczasie usłyszeliśmy odpowiedź od księdza Aleksiego i prosimy o kontynuację przez księdza Stevena. Father Stephen, could you continue your answer?
Thank you. Of these 7 dioceses, each year will enroll into theology formation and seminary about 50 candidates. So for the 3 years or 4 years I was in the seminary, we had between 250 to 300 candidates, only theology in Onitsha, in the seminary in Onitsha. And in Onitsha province, we have 3 major seminaries. The Blessed Iwenantansi Major Seminary takes care of theology faculty alone. John Paul II Major Seminary at Oka is just for philosophy. And for philosophy also, we have the neighborhood of 300 to 400 students or seminarians. And then Bigad Memorial Seminary, which happens to be the oldest and the largest seminary in Nigeria and probably the West Africa or in Africa, is a combination of theology and the philosophy, and the number close to 700 or 600. So besides these diocesan seminaries, we have also other religious congregations that also have seminarians. So I can still say that we have a good and big vocation, although we have the challenge of syncretism, but not among seminarians or with the seminarians, but with the people. And the syncretism is affecting the priest, as we saw in the first video, the Pentecostal gathering. Very many people prefer, because of the syncretic nature or the syncretic understanding, what we call the prayer ministries. The prayer ministries, people that make sacrifices, and in the name of the sacrifice, they go to the rivers to make sacrifice to the goddess of the river for one favor or the other. And then the prayer ministries. And priests are not left out in these ministries. We have some charismatic priests, and they have some aberrations. This is one of the greatest challenge with regards to the vocation. Vocation, yes, we still have vocation. And we still have the structure of minor seminary. We have the structure of minor seminary. So it may interest you to know that I left my parents at the age of 12. and went to the seminary. So,
Czy mamy jeszcze jakieś pytania na sali? Myślę, że będziemy kończyć. Podziękujmy naszym gościom, że zmagali się dzisiaj z tymi problemami technicznymi, ale udało się, dali radę, odpowiedzieli na pytania. Thank you i zapraszamy na krótką przerwę.